Hey everybody, what is up? It's your good friends Brian McGill and Corey Camp back at you with another What's Up Wednesday. We are here with we're going to have a very special guest later on, our friend Nicole Turner. She is the author of Simply Instructional Coaching, and she is the creator of the Simply Coaching Summit, the Quarantine Edition. So stay tuned. We're going to have some reflection conversation with her. But in the meantime, Mama Corey, what is up?
Oh, good Lord. Well, I don't know if I feel like it's spring break this week for me and my kids. And I actually took some time, worked a little bit Monday and yesterday, but took most of the day off. We started, let's see, spring break. You start lots of projects. I'm trying to talk my husband into building a tree house back over here, but he's not really feeling it right now. My daughter and I started building a dollhouse, one of those wooden dollhouse kits.
Mm-hmm.
It's way more complicated than I thought, but she loves the sanding part. So she's big into sanding the little pieces. But I've had wood glue in my hair for about 2 days. So
I couldn't tell.
Yes. Yeah, right. I mean, I've tried washing it out, but it'll be there again as soon as we start this project back up. But I know a lot of my friends are down in Texas are starting their first week. We did our first week of online learning last week, and then we've got our break this week. A lot of my friends down in Texas are starting their online learning. A lot of people are doing Zoom, sometimes for the first time, and feeling a little bit like this, right? Like I always got to know, is this Zoom video going to have video, or are we just being able to join via audio only? Because that's going to change how my hair looks. So shout out to all my friends who are navigating the work from home in your pajamas, but still got to look semi-professional life right now. So how's it been for you? Have you figured out how to cut your own hair yet, Brian? Is that going to happen for you?
Obviously, I have not. I'm trying to debate whether to let my roommates or my father cut my hair. But I don't know. I don't know how much longer I can live like this because I do like a little bit of hair on my head, but I mean, I'm able to tuck like my front bangs underneath my ears now. This is very this is new territory.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I've we've been very busy. One of my friends here in the Pittsburgh area, Mary Claire Arena, and we put together a nice video for some folks that have started considering how Sibby might be used as their virtual classroom, and obviously integrated with Zoom, and we if you can check out that video, I'll probably post that video into today's chat, just to kind of help get the learning out there. But you can modify the uses of SIBME to deliver your virtual learning spaces. Go on to info.sibme.com/coronavirus to take advantage of this semester's promotion. We're going to get through this together. We're going to get through this as a community. It's no big deal. We have a Zoom integration. When we meet with you, we'll sort that out. If you have Zoom, I'll get one of my tech integrators to get that integration going with you. Good to see our good friend Sue Renahan in the chat. How you doing? Jessica Ann, how you doing too? So Corey,
people have time now to join us live for our morning show. So excited to see those ladies in the call. Yeah. So let us know if you have any questions. If you're a current user, any of us are happy to support you with thinking about how you can extend the use or expand the use, or really begin kind of using SIBME in different ways, because it's absolutely doable. So when I was a SIBME customer long ago, I used SIBME as my LMS pretty much. So we're happy to talk about those. So without further ado, let's introduce our guest for today, Brian.
She's author of Simply Instructional Coaching. Welcome to the party, Nicole Turner.
Hi, Nicole.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Hey, welcome. Nicole, how you doing? You just had a really busy summit this week. Let's see, Simply Coaching, the summit, the quarantine edition. We're excited to talk to you a little bit about that. what was the moment you decided, this is what we need to do this. This is what my followers need. Go ahead.
Yeah, so last Monday, which is crazy because that was just what, 8 days ago?
Feels like a year ago. Yes.
Yeah, so like 8 days ago, I started to get an influx of emails from coaches saying,
Mhm.
"Hey, Nicole, do you have anything for as I transition to this virtual world? Like, what do I do? How do I help teachers? Like, what should my coaching call say? Like, how do I do a coaching call?
Mhm.
What are some of the tools that I can get?" Of course, everything was floating online. You can go Zoom, you could do Google Meets, you can do
Right.
Loom to record things. I mean, it was like so much stuff that was getting hit with them, and they just didn't know what it is they had. So after about the 25th email that I
Mhm.
received, I said, "Hey, you know what? Let me see what I can do, and if there is something that I can kind of just do it." And so I'm so familiar with putting on the summits because we gave our first one last summer, and then we gave one in December. So I said, okay, this is something that I need to get out and get people aware, and people are home, so they can definitely watch the videos. And originally I said, hey, I was going to do this all live, and then realized that people are e-learning like you were.
Mhm.
Moms are doing both. Coaches are trying to figure out how to create a schedule. And so I decided to do it twofold. So I was going to do some live interviews with some of the gurus in instructional coaching, and kind of get them out, get their word out to the audience, and then provide those videos, pre-recorded videos on more of the how-tos, how to work from home, how to do a virtual book study, professional development, how to use some of these different types of resources that are out there. Flipgrid, Google Classroom, Simbi. You guys have two different videos that are there. Like, it's super important for those coaches to have gotten that information. And so that's kind of how it all hit. I took a quick email. I just put an email together. I sent it out to everyone within 48 hours. Everyone was on board and said, let's do this. And so I worked tirelessly for the past so many days, the past week, of really putting that together, and making sure that everyone was ready to go. And it was a really good success. We had over 2,300 coaches sign up and take advantage of those videos, and really work through that piece. We had collectively over 1,200 coaches view and attend the live interview. So
Mhm.
I'm so excited about that. I'm sure they are watching those replays as we speak.
Yeah, and talk about like just a marker of a true educator, right? We are responsive. We start to see that there's an opportunity for some learning and the best way that that should happen, and we kind of do it with our hair on fire. So a lot of people are saying that even though many educators are kind of finding themselves doing this e-learning and creating these spaces now more than they ever had before, they're also consuming a lot
Mm-hmm.
more around how to do it and different things. And so it's a great time to offer that. I'd like to step back just a little bit and have you just tell us a little bit more about the Simply Coaching Academy, which is related to the virtual summit that you offered this summer, as well as the quarantine edition. Tell us a little bit about
Yes.
that.
So the Simply Coaching Academy itself is actually a suite full of soon to be more than just one. Right now, I have the Simply Coaching workshop that is there, and you can purchase it for any coach, so a new coach or a coach that is a little bit more advanced. It's really about helping you get organized, and it kind of flows from the book.
Mhm.
A lot of information from the book is actually in there, but it's a lot more videos, a lot more interactive activities that are in there. I do have about 6 more mini courses that will be added. Those are more advanced topics, more around providing feedback during as a coach, providing walkthroughs and how to create and implement an instructional audit as a coach using your team in your building. So I know a lot of times we have those consultants that come in and they do the instructional coaching audits and different stuff like that. But in your building, you can actually build a mini audit type. And because you're familiar with exactly what it is that you want, you can get your teachers involved. So then they can start to build that camaraderie with each other and build that trust within that and really make it a team and a unit. So the Simply Coaching Academy is just a place for you to go get some courses, get some resources as an instructional coach. The Simply Coaching Summit is a part of that. It is one of the components or key components of the academy. And so the summit I thought of last year about this time. It's so funny me, is that I realized that I wanted to attend a couple of instructional coaching conferences. Right now, there are really just like maybe 3 or 4 of them out there where there are about, 500 or so coaches that come together, but I didn't have the money. One, I didn't have the money to go. 2, my principal was like, you're not taking off that many times. And then 3, I had to find babysitters or, somewhere for my children. And I didn't have that option. They're getting older now. One is in college. So now they can kind of stay with him, my younger 2. But then they fight all the time. So,
Right. Yeah.
try not to leave them. But yeah, so out of that was born the Simply Coaching Summit. No one had.
Uh-oh.
She's
There we
back.
are. We're back. We can hear you now.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
I can't hear you. Somehow my phone this thing just went.
Oh, no problem.
Can you hear me now? Testing.
Well, I have to come out and come back in.
Yes.
Okay.
So
as
let me just come out and come back in. I'm sorry, guys.
Technical difficulties. Well, yeah, Brian, you go ahead.
It was really kind of cool to attend this because during some of these live sessions, folks are kind of attending all over the world. Like we even had folks from Saudi Arabia, I believe, and from the UK and kind of coast to coast here in the United States. And so it was just kind of fun to see how social folks became in the chat, how they were sharing some of the things that they were doing, some of the tools that were helping them as coaches, free and not free, but it didn't matter. But it was really interesting to kind of witness this community come together and be social in the chats of some of the live sessions that you had, which made it very worthwhile, I thought, to attend it, because some of the nice things about going to a conference and I was wondering, how is this virtual summit going to be? It's fun to go to a conference and be social and be surprised on who you're going to meet and what other folks are doing in other places in the world. And that was actually happening in your chat on Tuesday at the gym night session that we had. And I was just really surprised to see how social your conference really became. What did you think, Nicole?
Yes, it is very social. And if you actually go into the platform where the pre-recorded videos are as well, you will see people commenting on all of the videos. So the comments are live. And people go in and they comment and they say, oh, this was really great. This is how I'm going to use it. Someone else may reply to it. And then they have conversations around that. So it's still very interactive. The live sessions are definitely interactive, and that allows them to work with each other. But I don't know if you guys know this. I also do a session every month called Coffee and Coaching. And these coffee and coaching sessions are done either the first Tuesday or Thursday of every month. And it is with my partner, Chrissy Beltran. She is from Buzzing with Miss B. And we together have created this, and every single either first Tuesday or first Wednesday of the month, we come together and we talk about it. So we had a bonus edition last Thursday, a week ago. And we talked about exactly what this was, preparing for virtual coaching, but it was more about around that mindset.
Right. Right.
So they're very interactive in that session as well, as they are able to do more than what we can. So we share our experiences, but we like to interact with all of them and all of the coaches out there, and they really get to talk to each other and support each other. And a lot of times they'll connect, they'll share email addresses and do all those different things. So that part is super exciting.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things about the virtual learning opportunities, especially those that are live and then available later, is you get some of that live conversation, but there's also a big asynchronous aspect to it. So like I wasn't able to join the quarantine edition, but I'll be viewing it on demand. Hopefully today I can catch up with some of those and be adding to that conversation, and other people will kind of come back into that conversation. So I think that is one of the reasons why SIBME is such a successful tool, is because it really does allow for that. There are spaces for live viewing as well as that on-demand viewing. I can post a video and people can watch it later. So let's go. And I want to invite, we've got some live viewers today. So if you've got a question for Nicole around coaching, put it in the comments below, and we'll post your question for Nicole before we let her go this morning. But Nicole, can you just summarize a couple of your takeaways from the quarantine edition this week? I know there's a couple of big names that presented in your virtual summit. So any big takeaways for our audience today?
Yeah, so we had 3 interviews with Joelle Kellyan, with Steve Barclay, and with Jim Knight. And so those were the live sessions that Brian was talking about. Everyone was getting super excited and very interactive with. So yeah, there are tons of takeaways, but here's some of the bigger ones that I had. The first thing with Joellen was all about self-care. Making sure that during this time, you also take care of yourself. It is a stressful situation in order for you to transition into a new role and into changing what your normal habits. We're creatures of routine. And so now that we're changing our normal habits, and not just from, okay, I'm going to be in a building working, but now I am actually at home. But I'm not just at home. I'm at home also with children. If I have children, I'm also at home with my husband or my wife. If they are working, or partner, they may be working full time from home as well. So you're trying to fight over computer space, and I need to get this, you need to get that. Normally when you drop your kids off at school, their lunch is packed. You don't have to worry about that. But then now you're teaching and you're assisting as well as trying to do your job. So making sure that you incorporate that self-care piece, taking care of yourself, and then also reaching out and talking with your teachers and supporting them as well. Yes, this is a time where they are stressful and they are overwhelmed, but you can connect with them personally. Hey, I'm just giving you a call. I just want to see how things are going. And allow them to vent, because a lot of them are going to have some of the same issues you have, where they are yelling and screaming at their kids, trying to figure this out, doing all of the things. And so making sure that you just reach out to your teachers and give them that personal support. Hey, I just want to say hi, check on you, allow you to vent, and go from there. Another big piece we talked about, and I actually did the other day, well, I just went and got in my car. I didn't go far. I drove, about a mile around, but I needed that away time, that alone time. I needed that time where I could just sit and listen to my favorite song, drink me some water, just let the air blow as I did. I just needed that time. So implementing that part is huge as far as self-care. And then with Steve Barclay, one of my biggest takeaways from his conversation was making sure that we focus now on learning versus curriculum. Curriculum is definitely important, and those curriculum maps, we're not throwing them out the door, but learning may look a little different. And so we need to identify what learning is, what learning looks like, and so what I've seen and what a lot of people have seen is that teachers are just, finding things for students to do with no end game.
Right.
The end game is just we got to have something for them to do. Well, true, we do have to have something for them to do, but we need to have meaningful things for them to do.
Right.
And we need to make sure that the things that we have them to do, or the tasks that we have them to do, actually requires them to learn. And it's a different way of learning, a different type of learning.
Right.
And so it's like looking for those resources that align with the curriculum that we already have, and making sure that we go through those and getting the students to actually learn through that instead of just tasks for them to get complete. I know that my daughter suffers from that. Her teachers assign something. She's like, I have 4 points. These are 4 points. I have to get this done because it's 4 points.
Yeah.
You know, that's like a bigger thing for her. And then parents are so stressed out because they're like, okay, you have 10 things to do. You have to get these 10 things done. Where in actuality, we can give one good project.
Right.
We can start to look at project-based learning. We can start look at allowing them. You remember back in the day when we used to do web quests in the classroom. I mean, we can start those web quests again. We can start looking at break the rooms, or, you know, the escape rooms, the virtual escape rooms. You know, utilizing some of those pieces will allow students to actually think and learn. And to have those questions to get them to start to develop some of their own thinking skills at this time, versus just, we're just going to do a bunch of, you know, worksheets and, you know, try to get those things done.
Right. That's a really great point. And I spent some time with my second grade daughter's teacher last week. And that was kind of one of the conversations was, what are a couple of the tools that you can use? But then how can we use these meaningfully? And that's my conversation with a couple of other teachers I've talked to over this time, and parents as well, is, you know, we not just busy work and you know, packet's not going to do it. Really, let's think about what did we have within the curriculum? What were those learning standards that we were looking for? And what are some ways that we can do that in this new environment that are meaningful, right? How can we connect current events to the things that we are learning? And how can we work with other teachers of other subjects if we're split in that way, to really, like you said, project-based learning, kind of work together? And that reduces the efforts on my side if I'm working with a colleague to kind of pool my ELAR curriculum with the math and science curriculum together. We can kind of really amplify our efforts as teachers and lower the stress, not only for ourselves, but for our students. So I think it's a great takeaway.
Yeah, so that was the biggest thing from Steve Barclay. And from Jim Knight, we kind of talked about coaching conversations. And so what does those look like? Where do you start? And so Jim really wanted to pull in, like, you really want to look at the impact cycle. You want to look at this opportunity to start to build those instructional playbook pieces and components to that, and really pull all of those things together. Really supporting the teachers as of now as to what they're doing. Again, back to those resources and that conversation, having Zoom calls, PLC meetings, all of those things can still happen. They're just going to look different. You just won't be in the same classroom, or you won't be in the same room with each other, but you could definitely, like right now, like how we're all connected and having conversations, that's something that you could definitely still do. So one thing I kind of took Jim's concept a little further in the conversation is that I said, during this time, we can really allow teachers to start to learn. Let's start to think about what next year is going to look like. Let's really know that some of our students won't have exposure to those standards that they were already supposed to be teaching from, you know, February or March all the way until May and June. So what does the beginning of our year look like? That's going to be something that's different. That's going to be a whole different conversation, but that's some things that you can start to get minds, you know, thinking through during this time. Also, you can provide videos, resources, virtual book studies. Nita Creekmore, I don't know if anyone knows her, but she is actually presenting in the summit, and she has a thing about virtual book studies that teachers can do together online. Her blog and her information is Love, Teach, Bless. And she does some awesome, she has them already made. You can just buy them and it's already ready to go. Book studies I think she's converting them. I spoke with her last night for about an hour, and I think she's converting them to digital, where coaches can utilize them digitally in a Google Classroom, or maybe even on Simbi. Maybe that's something we can connect you guys with her and see if she can host or something like that on the Simbi platform with some coaches, because I know she wants to do that with some coaches, teach them how to do the book studies with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one big, huge thing that coaches can do. I was telling Jim yesterday, my biggest thing is I don't want us to waste this time. Like, yes, people are overwhelmed, but then it becomes our new normal. After the overwhelm is over, which is about a couple of weeks, things start to, we start to get our routine. We kind of know what it is that we're doing. The uncertainty comes as we don't know when we're coming back to school, but the work can still go on. We can still have conversations around what are some of the best instructional strategies that we want to implement when we come back in August, because this will end. Like, the coronavirus is not going to happen for the next 30 years, where like our careers in the classroom is over. It's just a temporary piece, but we want to take advantage of that time and really supporting with teachers and teaching them and building their teacher efficacy toolboxes. So as they move, when we come back, we're ready to go. We're ready to hit the ground with our feet running, I guess you would say.
That was a great summary and a lot of great takeaways from that, Nicole. Thanks for sharing. So looking forward, I thought this is just kind of great because it actually gives folks that would normally not attend a physical conference this opportunity to learn and so get social. We got a summer summit that we have some time to plan for as well. And what's cooking for that? What do we have We've got some dates for that. And
yes. So the summer summit will be July 13th, 14th, and 15th. So that is exciting. It's a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And it will be the same format, except they're all pre-recorded. So far this year, we have Jim Knight is coming back. Joella Killian and Steve Barclay, of course, I just love them to death, is coming back. We have Zaretta Hammond is going to come and do some things on equity coaching. And she has a new book that is coming out, I believe, in August. So she's definitely going to talk about that new book in August. I've been in conversations with Steve Venturer. He does a lot of coaching around, he does a lot of coaching of coaches and administrators. And then Principal Kafele, we've been in conversations as well. So those are the two we're just waiting on finalizing, contracts and different things like that. But those are the 6 that will be there, and I will be there to keynote this year. I had never keynoted before, but this year I'll be there to keynote and really talk about the mindset of coaches. And so that is my new book that will be coming out. That new book is called Simply Coach, and that book will be out sometime this year. With all of this,
no pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Some dates are being pushed back, but that is the book that I am currently working on. And it's all around getting your mindset for coaches and what should you do. So like a lot of times coaches come in a role with the mindset of I have to fix teachers. I have to change what it is that they're doing to be like what I was when I was in the classroom because I was a good teacher. And so no, we don't want that to continue. We want coaches to say that we are there to support teachers and to make teachers become the best teachers that they can, the same as we are teachers in the classroom of our students, and we want our students not to be complete copycats of us. We want to make them and bring out the best that they can as they are. So just looking from that mindset of coaches. So Simply Coach should be out hopefully, I don't know, October-ish. Now it was going to be in August, but October-ish, it will go on pre-sale in a few weeks, and you can buy it for pre-sale discounted rate. And when you get it, just like the Simply Coach book, it will be an autographed signed version of it versus just coming from Amazon.
That's exciting. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Nicole Turner, author of Simply Instructional Coaching, and we look forward to your summit on July 13th, 14th, and 15th. Go to simplycoachingacademy.com to learn more.
Yeah.
Yes. Or simplycoachingandteaching.com.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Yeah. And we'll post those links after the show. We'll go ahead and post those links and the link to the quarantine edition, where people can go view on demand until what, 3 o'clock for free
About
today?
3 o'clock. Yeah, 3 o'clock, 3. And then if you want to buy the videos for 6 months, it's only $19.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. Perfect. So we'll put that information in the chat. We've had a few. Jessica and Sue have thanked you, Nicole, for your
you're welcome.
positivity
You're welcome.
and your helpful advice. So thanks so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me on. This has been great. I want to come back.
Yes. We'll definitely have you back for sure.
Maybe we'll do something just before the summer summit. Maybe that's something
absolutely.
we should do. Okay.
Absolutely. Corey, how can I get Brian to do some sessions?
How can you get Brian to do some? Brian is always up for doing some sessions.
Yes.
I want to do some sessions. I love to do stuff.
I've already actually got a meeting on the calendar right now to get Corey to do a recording for the summer summit.
Oh, perfect. Corey.
She's already signed up.
See, look, I don't even know. I don't even own my own calendar. So
that's okay. That's okay. We'll get you guys on coffee and coaching sessions as well.
Oh, I love that too. I'm always down for some coffee and coach talk. So, all right, Nicole.
Well, thank you so much.
Take care of yourself. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. That was a great conversation, and I'm excited to check out the on-demand of that. I know you got to tune in just to Gym Night session, and so that's going to be awesome I've heard him a million times, and I can never hear too much of Gym Night. So that's awesome. Well, let's wrap it up, Brian, with we've got some shout outs again, just telling everybody that they got this. If you're doing this goes out to whether you're an educator or a parent or just, maybe isolated on your own with your animals or something, you got this. Let us know how we can help you. But we do have a great shout out today to Dothan City Schools, our friend Maria Johnson, and 2 of her top performing campuses, Hidden Lakes and Carver Math and Technology, who have had an awesome year so far in implementing video and enhanced professional learning. So
the way to go, Dothan City Schools. That district has actually gone through some change management and restructuring, and yet they still had this growth mindset down in Alabama. They've been all about their kids this year, and they've stayed focused. And I know that when there's that kind of shifting around in a district, it's hard. So, but if you look at the activity in those schools that are serving their students, you can just tell how hard they're working for their kids. So, way to go, Dothan City Schools. Really proud of you guys. Keep it up.
Awesome. Well, that's all we have for today, and it's been great seeing you, Brian. I'm interested to see how your at-home hair cutting adventures go. So maybe next Wednesday you'll have a new do.
I don't know. Maybe get in the chat. Hey, should I grow it out? Should I?
There we go. Let's do a poll. What should Brian do with his hair? So yeah, I like it. How do you want to see Brian next Wednesday? In a hat, having cut his own hair, let Papa McGill cut it. Who's gonna cut Brian's hair? What's it gonna look like?
Anybody wants me to grow a ponytail now? I will find you.
Jessica's got a thumbs up.
I will find you.
I think we should bring back the mullet, Brian. All right, everyone. Have a great Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Stay healthy and stay sane. We'll talk to you soon.
See you out there, Jessica.
Jessica said mullet.